So today we have another case. This time it's the Thermaltake Versa H18. So here we have the Thermaltake Versa H18. Now this is a small tower case. So the motherboard you're looking to put in here will be micro ATX or ITX. So first off, in the front we have our USB 3, 2 USB 2, headphone mic, reset, and a power button. This button here is actually for the LEDs that I will show you later. But basically we have a strip of LEDs right here in the front panel. Up top we have a fan cover, fan dust cover. It's magnetic, but it's definitely not going to come off by accident. In the back we have, it's pretty standard, we have a rear fan, and this case does come with one fan, 4 expansion slots, and a power supply on the bottom. So let's open it up. And there's thumb screws. They're not captive thumb screws. I'll probably be giving this case a little bit of slack just because it is like a $32 case, $30 case. So here we have our motherboard mounting. And I thought this was interesting actually, is mostly slightly more expensive cases, $100 cases-ish, come with the PSU shroud. So that's really nice. It makes it look much more expensive than it is, because you don't have all these cables coming and looking gross. There is room to mount a 360 millimeter radiator right here, and it looks like there's mountings for a 280. Yeah, a 280. So you can actually put quite a lot of water cooling in here. There is no mounting right here on the top. There's just a fan mount, and of course you have an option on the back to put a radiator if you chose. So you can actually fit a lot of cooling in here, and this case does have like quite a nice finish for such a kind of really cheap case. And we have our Thermaltake. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but we have the Thermaltake logo with the little spinny thing around the TT. And then back here, we have all of our cables. It comes with pretty much standard for cases, your standoffs, your screws, your zip ties. Looks like it comes with 4 zip ties. And of course, the twist ties here. And then it's using a Matx 4-pin Matx for the LEDs up front. And it actually looks like you have a good 1.5 inches of room for cables. So you have quite a lot of room for cable management. So I'm going to put a build in here, and we're going to see how it does, and we'll get back to you. Hey guys! So we got everything in the case, and again this is a small tower case, but there is lots of room for cable management, and really there is no issues building in this case. A lot of cheaper cases, you have a lot of issues sometimes, with cable management or mounting fans. There's no issue like that here. The one issue I did have is Thermaltake says you can put a fan on top, and maybe sometimes, but in this case, I could not actually get enough clearance between the CPU cooler and the CPU coolers here. I couldn't get enough clearance between the CPU cooler and the top, right here. So yeah, that, and even if I could get enough clearance between the cooler, the actual VRM heatsinks on this board kind of go up a little higher. So unless it's like a slim fan, those 15mm fans, you're probably not going to be fitting a fan on top. This thing goes with a radiator. Like technically, I guess if you don't put any fans and it's a super slim radiator, you might be able to put it on there. So there was that. Also, the power supply I used was not a modular power supply. I kind of did that on purpose, and just to check the cable management, see how much room there actually was. Because, if you can fit a power supply with lots of cables, you can fit one that's modular. And it fits fine. It really does a good job. One thing I have to say, if you are using a non-modular power supply and you want to use your front for your radiator, because it will fit a 360mm radiator, I don't believe it will do push-pull. There doesn't look to be enough room. I mean, you could use slim fans again. Kind of defeats the purpose. But you will have to tie up your cables really well. Like I said, this is a non-modular power supply, and I have had to put the cables back over here. That could be changed because you could tie them up closer, tighter. I chose not to use any zip ties, I just used twist ties. So if you use zip ties, you get them a lot tighter. But other than that, it's really well-made case, especially for $30. $30 case, you're expecting, oh, this thing is just going to be just a case to put parts in, right? Actually, this one is really nice. The paint on here is really even, really good looking. It actually comes with mount standoffs already in there, and you can put a lot of cooling in here. It's actually a really nice looking case. We do have this LED here, and at first I thought it was RGB. I don't know if they have an RGB model, but it's actually not RGB. It's just a blue light, just running down, up and down. You can turn it off if you don't like LED. You just turn it off like that. There's a little button there, and it looks good for $30. It's hard to beat. The only cleave is this will not fit ATX or eATX because it is a small case. It's not going to fit them. So you're looking at micro ATX, ITX boards. I had no issue with the big 390X double edition AMD card here, ATI card, whatever they are now. I mean, it's a double slot. It's really wide. It's got a cooler. It's got hoses, and I mean, it fits just fine. So definitely check this case out. Again, this is the Thermaltake Versa H18. Thanks for watching.